with their thumbs up their asses waiting for you to call. So call.
Call the Alan Cox Show. 216-578-1007 or 1-800-348-1007.
$35192 if you want to send a text to me. I'll see them there. AlanCoxShow.com, where you can watch. Who's helping out today? Furfnan. Is that the name? Yeah. Furfnan.
Yeah, Furfnan.
There's a lot going on there. But thank you so much, Furf, for your assistance.
Dude, so
it has proven invaluable, yes.
Brian's daughter calls her, I guess it'd be like her grandmother, Furfernay. Her name's Renee, and when she was younger, she couldn't say Renee. So when you said that, I was like, is Furfernay helping out in the YouTube stream today?
Furfernay Furfnan is helping out.
Furfnan.
If you listen to us on iHeartRadio and you do it from outside Ohio, tell me where. I'd like to know where our bureau chiefs are posted up. Mary is a bureau chief in Wake Forest, North Carolina. Brad listens in Yukon, Oklahoma. You can get a gig in Yukon, Poundcake. I don't know why you're not availing yourself of all these bureau chiefs we have. We have hundreds and hundreds of people listening on the app around the country. Any one of these people, you could hit up and go, hey, it's Poundcake.
You sleep on your couch?
I mean, they know who you are because they listen to the show. Melinda in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Kyle's in Nashville. Justin's down in Savannah, Georgia. I mean, you could pick a place you want to work. More than likely, we would have a listener there, and then you work backwards from there. Hey, what's the vibe? We have a lot of bureau chiefs up in the great state of Minnesota. Sergeant Mack is at Camp Riley. Dennis is in Elk River. Dan is in Emily, Minnesota. I was reading about a state senator from Minnesota, a Republican state senator, who really doesn't want legal weed because it means that drug dogs would have to retire. And I guess this guy's good. Listen, you don't want to take jobs from people or animals, so I understand that. John Jasinski is a state senator from Minnesota who's fighting against the legalization of marijuana in his state. Minnesota is historically a pretty progressive state. When Walter Mondale ran for president, it was the only state he won. It was his home state, and he got stomped. He only won his own state. This guy, if you're a Republican in Minnesota, you're walking uphill. But he thinks that these dogs deserve to keep their jobs. That to him is a big issue. This is why we shouldn't legalize marijuana. What are these dogs going to do?
The police dog discussion of all that and retraining, what's going to cost our local law enforcement agencies who've done these dogs, who've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on these dogs to get these dogs drug trained, and now they're going to have to be retired. That's a big issue. I was the mayor of Faribault and actually did a fundraising campaign to raise money to get a police dog, to have a drug dog, and now that money is going to go away because these dogs can't be used anymore, given that.
This is the dumbest argument I've ever heard. That's like, what are we going to do with all these troughs that we use to water horses once we all start using cars? We already paid for the troughs, so we might as well keep the troughs around.
Also, why wouldn't a dog want to be retired?
Yeah, dogs don't want to work.
I mean, and most dogs, I've got a dog. Bill has a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Mary has a cat.
Cat.
Most dogs don't have jobs. These dogs,
my dog's so lazy,
have jobs. My dog shares a birthday with Bill. She just turned 12 yesterday. Is she working? Nope. This is how good these dogs have it. I have an Aussie. That's a herding dog. Is she herding anything? Nope. Maybe the occasional rabbit in the corner of my fence. But she's doing that pro bono. Most dogs don't work. There are service dogs, but even that, they're not paid. Maybe in kibble. But yeah, you're right. This guy, he really threw his back out on this stretch. And police dogs die. So even if you kept them employed, for lack of a better word. They're not paying them. He's saying, hey, we spent a lot of money on training these dogs. Why wouldn't you just train them to do other things? There are a lot of places retraining their animals. But there has to be a way to determine whether or not the dogs would like to be retired. That's the variable here that's not being considered. But up there in Minnesota, dog retirement is apparently up for discussion with this guy. He's not for it. And you know what they say in Minnesota? If you're not for it, you're against it. And it's very important. That's on the state flag and everything.
I've never been up that far.
You never been up to Minnesota?
No, like I've never been to Michigan.
You've never been to Michigan?
I don't know if I mean, I've been to Toronto, but
you know that's not in Michigan.
No,
right?
I know. I'm just saying. I have.
That's the furthest north he's been.
I have this thing about being up higher and colder than Ohio.
Oh, I got to hear this. What?
I don't want to go up higher.
More north?
But
Yeah.
Or
we
higher
border,
elevation, like
we
a mountain.
border Michigan.
I understand that, but that's still higher up.
You know, you can go
What do you mean by
different
higher up?
North
Farther, you don't want to go farther north than what? Toledo?
than Ohio.
But Toledo is like 2 miles from the Michigan border.
Also, you could go in a time of year when it's not cold.
No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I just have this.
I don't
thing.
like going farther north. Right, but like
But
Toronto is so much farther north than Detroit or...
I understand that, and I sometimes break my own rules because my friends were in Portland.
It's not a rule.
It's my own thing.
It's a preference.
It's a preference.
So by that logic, you only want to go places farther south because it's warmer?
Yes. I feel like if I want
The
Ohio,
beachfront community of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania?
but what I'm saying is if I wanted Ohio weather, I would stay in Ohio. I don't want to go up more north and then just be cold or just like
Right, but you know that Michigan has summer.
yeah, but
That's a Cody.
it's similar to Ohio, if not worse.
Michigan's beautiful. I don't care what anybody says. When the leaves change and the lakes and oh my goodness.
They're about to
come
get their
on.
butts beat tomorrow, though.
What's tomorrow?
The hockey game outside Ohio State versus
Oh right,
Michigan.
that's tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to go with some buddies. It's going to be a good time.
But Bill comes in and goes, you sure you don't want to go to an outdoor hockey game tomorrow? Like we had already talked about it, and I was like, absolutely not. Like, what about me?
I couldn't think of a
says,
worse person to take.
Jesus,
Like
no.
you or my girlfriend would be terrible to take because you're so cold all the time.
But you are going?
I am going.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I'm going to, yeah.
I like to cover the plain dealer. It said put a rink on it.
Hey.
That was clever. Oh, I guess I forgot that was tomorrow. We're gonna be out of town, but that would be fun.
It'll
Where
be
you
a good
going?
time.
You don't get to go. Where are you going?
Guess where we're going?
Michigan.
Hey.
Michigan.
Go get that Ohio weather in Michigan.
Okay, we'll never go there.
I know. Yeah, but
Hey, Poundcake,
you're making a different argument. If the weather's the same, why wouldn't you just want to see a different environment?
Because I don't need to. I mainly
You get everything you have right here in Ohio, the state you can't wait to leave.
I mainly travel.
Have you ever gone to Chicago?
Yes.
Of course
but
you have. It's north of Cleveland.
a little bit.
You want to talk about cold?
Not north. It's up higher.
Sorry, up up higher on the map.
Man.
I don't want to go up higher.
There was this lady, and she was making me nuts on TikTok where she was explaining to her boyfriend, she's like, north is straight. If I'm going in a straight line, that's north. And I'm like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I would say.
Well, she's thinking of a 2D map, right? I mean,
I don't know. She just, if she's going straight, she's going, well,
It
I'm
has
going
to be
north
north.
now. Yeah, it's
Oh, she's going. Okay, she's looking at like her GPS on her phone.
not even that. Like, she just doesn't understand the concept of north.
Huh.
Like, when I'm telling people now to come to this building, and I'm like, you're going to park and then head north. And they're like, which way is north? I'm like,
Nobody.
Do you-
I hate that when people say that.
do you know where the lake is?
I don't have a compass.
Do you know where the lake is?
You know where the lake
Tell me to
is.
turn right
That's
or
north.
left.
Where-
Tell me to turn right or left.
I don't know which way you're coming from. So
if you're telling them where to park,
I tell them to go into that and then head to the north side of the building
Like when I'm
to
home,
get into this building so I can come let you in.
if I'm home to see my family, east is the lake.
sure.
When I'm here, north is the lake.
Yeah, but you don't. If you've never been downtown, or this is someone who's not familiar with
not
downtown,
talking
they
about
don't know
someone.
where the lake is. I hate that.
You can
It's so
kind of
easy.
figure out where the lake
can
is,
kinda
though, even
figure
if
it
you're
out, yeah.
downtown. Because we're not that far from it.
I was lost on the road in like Illinois one time or Indiana, a lot of corn, and my GPS wouldn't work on my phone, and I had to pull over and ask for directions at a gas station, and this guy gave me like, you're gonna go out of here, due east for 4 miles, and then you're gonna make sure you turn to go north on the next highway. I'm like, I'm more lost now than I would have ever been if you would have just said left, right, 10 minutes. I can't do north, south, east, west, and miles. Minutes.
How do you get anywhere?
GPS. If my phone goes out, I'm screwed. I'm so screwed.
You don't have a, what do they call that?
Compass?
Not the big book of maps.
A Rand
An
McNally?
atlas?
Yeah, an atlas. Yeah, you don't got a road
No, I
atlas.
don't have an atlas.
You can get yourself a road
You have
atlas.
an atlas?
I don't need one. I know how to go north and south and east and west.
If you were in a state you've never been in, you're in the middle of Indiana in cornfields,
And someone
said, go north for 8 miles and then go due east for another 10.
Do you know how
Yeah.
the sun moves?
Oh, screw you. Nobody's looking up at the sun and putting their arm
Right,
out like
but-
a sundial.
But
my
you
car-
could do that, is what I'm saying.
But my car does have a compass in it, and I go, okay, so if I'm
Mine
going
doesn't.
east out of here, your car doesn't have a
My
compass?
compass, no, there's no like you're
Your
driving
car doesn't
north.
tell you which way you're going.
No,
What
I
do
bet
you
it does.
drive?
a Kia Forte,
What year?
2017.
It absolutely does.
And it doesn't have SW when you're going southwest. It doesn't have.
I don't.
Near
I
the speedometer.
have never noticed
I don't
it.
think
if it
I've
does.
noticed mine either.
You have a brand new car, Poundcake.
Your-
I
your
guarantee you
Poundcake-
yours does.
I noticed yours. Yours has it.
Okay. Well, you have to show me where it is.
It's on the console.
Look near, right in front of you. You'll see an SW or a W or an NW.
Yes.
Or
When you're driving home tonight, it's gonna say west, and then it's gonna say south, and then it's gonna say west again.
Okay, we'll see.
we'll see. He is still skeptical. He doesn't believe it.
And then they use a little shortcut with it just being a S or a W.
Mary, don't you have an Apple Watch?
Yes, I'm saying if I didn't have my technology, I
I
would be
see.
screwed. So when I was lost in the middle of a corn state and I had to ask,
Wait, but you weren't lost in the middle of a cornfield.
but what I'm saying is that everything around me looks identical. There is no marker like a lake where they can say, okay, you're downtown Cleveland, the lake is north. Eventually you're going to hit it. No, you're going north. I'm in the middle of nothing. You've been in the middle of Indiana. There's nothing around you.
Right.
There's no landmarkers. Everything looks exactly the same.
This is where the sun comes in.
Okay. I cannot
Unless
believe
you
that
are
that's even a valid argument in
It
this
is!
in this
In
day
the-
and age.
in this
Okay,
day
what
and
if
age,
it's cloudy? What
But
if
the
it's
sun
cloudy?
is. What do you mean this age? The sun is still in the sky.
What if
unless
it
you're
is
lost
cloudy?
unless you're lost at noon.
Or it's cloudy.
All right.
It's cloudy outside right now. If you expected somebody who was lost to find north based on the sun, do you hear what you are saying?
You got a lot of conditions.
What am I,
in
a
this
cartographer?
scenario.
You think I know how to just make my way around here? You're out
All
of
you
your
have
mind.
to do,
I mean, people have been figuring
You're
it
out
out
of
for
your
a long,
mind.
long
Mary,
time.
all you have to do is get a leaf, put it on water,
Yep.
take a needle,
Yep.
rub it on silk,
You know, how
magnetize
you know how
it.
magnets work, right?
Why don't you just look at the sun and figure it out?
Well,
way.
okay. I'm just saying. I mean, you know.
There's a lot of ways to
You
figure it
guys
out,
truly believe that if you stood outside your car and looked up, you could say with confidence,
but yeah.
I can drive southwest.
who have
based
I was a
on
Boy
where the
Scout.
fun is.
You
People
think I
who,
don't know
yes,
these
people who
things?
have gotten lost have used the sun for
I'm not
tens
talking
of thousands
about
of
people.
years.
I'm talking about you. If
Yes.
your GPS went out and you're in the middle of Indiana where everything looks identical, there are no markers, and someone said, drive east for 5 miles and then go due north or whatever, you would be able to get out of your car, look around and be like, well, there's the sun. I don't believe that.
No.
I don't
Because
believe that.
here's the scenario you're giving me. If somebody tells you, so your scenario is you're lost, you ask somebody and they say go east.
Sure.
They're going to point.
From inside the
They're
building.
going to say go east, and they're going to point,
And then
and
you're
you go in that
also-
direction.
You're also trusting a gas station attendant.
Okay,
in
Who lives
rural
there?
Indiana.
Wait a second.
Now
Wait,
you're
no,
throwing
no,
in
no,
this
no, no.
variable.
I'm
Everybody's
running in this-
lying to you in Indiana?
No, not that they're lying to me, but someone like me, if they ask me for directions, this guy could be making it up. He could be bored. And he gets here, or he could be in on it with the local traffic ring.
In on what?
On the scandal of
Traffic
the
misinformation?
then get a map.
women's trafficking.
Get a Rand
Right.
McNally.
So in lieu of any technology, Mary's saying, here we are in dystopian. I got no GPS. I got nothing. I got no Rand
no
McNally.
service.
Got no Atlas.
No
I go up. I ask the guy at the service station, the convenience store, whatever, who lives there and is just looking for human interaction, who might be lying to you about which direction east is.
Well, you're saying he points. How do I know he's pointing in the right direction?
Well, then you go there and
You're trusting him. Like
yes, you asked him.
All right. I'm just as lost. All I'm saying is there's a lot of variables here. And you guys make it seem like I could get my way around anywhere. I know all of America.
No, but there are signs on roads that say east, or they're even numbered, or, you know.
If he's saying go east, like if I get off of a highway, I know if I'm going north or south or east or west.
Sure.
So when he says go east on this highway, I know to go east. Like that's not hard to figure out.
What if it's
You're not on a highway.
What if it's nighttime and he's lying?
And you're blindfolded.
I'm just saying, I think you guys are really oversimplifying a situation. You're expecting people in 2023 to know which way
You
north
are
is.
overcomplicating the situation.
I think that you, to tell a run-of-the-mill person in 2023, you need to go north. I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, I have no idea what you're saying.
They have directions on mile marker signs.
Well, you know what that comes down to, Alan? We're just not run-of-the-mill people.
Well, and you're also assuming I'm on a highway. You've driven through the middle of states before, right? The middle of Indiana is one road with, you know what I mean? It's
but they still
two-lane
have
road, one each way.
Signs.
There are signs, even on back roads.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, unless you are driving directly through a cornfield.
Which is what most of the middle of the country is.
But if you're on a state route, they still have markers that tell you which
every
which way
5
you're going.
miles? So then you go one way and then you realize you're going the wrong way and then you turn around.
and go,
And then you figure out there's one direction to not go. You only have 3 more.
Sure.
You figure it out.
Okay. I'm just saying. I think it's harder than you guys think it is.
No, I used to do this when I was a road comic.
You were also a Boy Scout. You were
I was a
taught
Boy
this stuff. I didn't get my license until I was 22. I have zero
Whose
preparation.
fault is that?
My parents. We weren't allowed to get it till we were 18 because we were poor.
Mary, you can get a driver's license, but your sister ain't going to eat next week.
Exactly. 100%. It's like we can put you in driving school or we can pay our mortgage. So you pick.
Part of my preparation was mapping out my route. So like I'd do the map quest, but then I'd have an atlas that I would go
this is
through.
irrelevant though because you're also talking about a time when people didn't have smartphones. If you take someone in 2023 who has grown up with smartphones and you tell them to go north, there is a 0% chance they know what you're saying.
But in a city like Cleveland, where we're not talking about Indiana, we're talking about a city like Cleveland, where we know the lake is north.
You see how people drive downtown, coming down for a tribe.
Right, but that's different than not being able to figure it out. Being reliant, we're all over-reliant on technology. That is true. But in lieu of that, a lot of people would be able to figure it out, is the point.
There's a compass.
Sure, you can figure it out.
Mary,
but they're not gonna know.
Who cares if you have a driver's license? You're not gonna be able to drive to a restaurant because you can't afford food once you get there.
My point.
Which way is north right now?
That way. I know because I live toward the lake. I am very
we also
familiar
work.
with,
You know where we work.
I've worked downtown for 10 years.
If I were to tell you to come into the parking garage and say head north to the north side of it.
Then that's different too because now you're in a building with no windows. How do you know?
You know which direction you came in.
Sure, but you go up you get all turned around in the spinnies and you get going
in
up.
A stairwell?
Not a stairwell, driving. Then you have to look out and be like, which way is my car facing? Am I facing east?
So if you go into this parking garage here, you don't know which side you're in?
No, I do. What I'm saying is
I am familiar.
If this were my first time coming downtown,
right,
and you told me park in that garage and then head north,
we're not saying first time coming
I would
downtown.
have no idea what you're talking about.
We're saying first time using that building, using that parking garage. I could say north. Would you know which way north is?
This is again because let's say the average person comes downtown maybe once a month, maybe. I don't even think it's that.
I think it's probably once a year.
Okay, so that's my
maybe
whole
twice
point.
A year, we'll say.
Is that you have someone coming downtown who is not familiar with downtown.
Right, and I say you're going to want to head north, and they'll be like, "Which way is north?" I've done it, and I'll go, okay, where do you think the lake is?
But that's being unfamiliar with downtown, not being unfamiliar with directions.
But he's basing it off of us being in Cleveland. His whole scenario is we have a marker
it's
that
the
is
scenario
north.
that I've had to explain to people
Correct.
on several occasions.
Right.
And for the most part, I think people have figured it out.
Sure.
Hey, Joe.
Hey guys, I've been sitting on hold for a few minutes pushing every button in my 2015 Nissan, and I do not have a directional cue up
Told ya.
anywhere.
Oh, good
So she's not
for
wrong.
you.
You guys,
But that's not
every
the
car
But
ever
that's not the
has
car
it.
that she has.
But he's saying that not
Yeah,
every
okay.
car
All right.
has
Of course
it.
not, but I'm just saying
Recent-ish
that this
cars
one
don't
doesn't
have.
it.
Okay.
All right. Well, I got
I
a
mean, I
message
don't know.
from somebody.
Unless I am more than an average Joe, I cannot find it.
Alan, my 2023 Kia Forte does not have a compass. It auto-connects to Google Maps.
See?
Yep, it sure does.
Well, that's different.
But
All right.
But a lot of them have the compass you have to cycle through to it.
Well, the good thing is I keep a charger in my car, so in case my phone does die, that's my map. But I feel like I can figure out once you drive on a lonely road for so long, you'll hit like a main road, and then
That's what you would think. Some roads don't lead to main roads, and then now you're even more lost. And now it is nighttime, and there's the moon looks like it's 9 points southwest.
Don't forget to use
Well, you don't use
addresses.
the moon, you use the North Star.
What about
idiot.
addresses?
What about addresses?
The even ones are on the north or west sides of the street.
How do you know that? And
didn't
how
know.
do you know
That's
if
how
it's
they're laid
north?
out.
How do you know if it's north or west?
That's
Okay,
how-
that's even, so it's either north or west.
But that gives you that takes two variables out of four. It gives
But
you
you
a 50.
still have
You got a
two.
50-50 shot.
You still have to.
And if it's in a residential
I don't
area
think
where
that's a well-known thing.
if you're in an area, that's what I'm telling people. If you're in an area where there are addresses, that means it's residential. And so you walk up. Could you tell me where? Hey, Tommy, we got a girl here. Don't know where she is.
That's how you end up in a basement and you don't come back.
Yeah.
You've got no teeth anymore. They knock them all out.
Okay. I've got to tell. That's why Poundcake, when he goes to Columbus, he's in short north. He gets confused. I got to take a break. I'll have those Disturbed tickets for you on the way back. Last pair to see them at Blossom this summer. And another chance for you to grab some money. 5:30. Next keyword for you to go fund yourself on the way.
From the Universal Windows Direct Weather Center, WMMS Weather.